What's up, everybody? Before I get into this, thank you for giving me this big run. Thank you, YouTube, for unblocking me. And thank you for all your support and comments. I got the light on me because I want to light up the fretboard, not my face. I've been sick, my kid's sick, I got a 9-year-old. But somebody had mentioned something that is very near and dear to my heart and was one of the biggest influences on me as a kid. Criss Oliva, and his brother John, actually, too. He's the one that taught me to do that kind of stuff, but we'll get into some of that later. Now here's the riff. Wrong. Now, why was he such a big influence on me? Pinch harmonics, the picking. He had one of the most incredible right hands. And he was also the most tragic reality of a death to metal. He would have changed what metal, he was already changing metal back in the 80s. Probably late 70s, early 80s, into the mid 80s. He was an incredible guitar player and a dear friend. And it's a sore subject for me, not just because of his death, but he helped me through a time along with my buddy Derek Damone. My parents were going through a rough divorce at the time, and I hadn't really talked to my father in a little while at that time, and I ended up moving in with Derek. And I saw all the memorabilia on the wall. I just thought he was a fan. And one day I'm in the room, and I had my door half open, and I was shredding, and I'll never forget Chris's face the first time I ever met him. My door opened, and he goes, "You're just a kid." And that's when we became friends. My real name is Chris, and his name is Chris. And we hit it off. Why? We were both guitar players. I was young. I was fascinated, and especially when I saw him play. His right hand dictated how I played, and a lot of influence in some of the stuff. Now, you heard Chris. That was Chris's song. Now, I have songs like this, too. I used to write songs like that too because I was a huge metal fan, but I also got into blues metal shred, and that was at a very young age. I was already a metal shred guitar player, and I went to GIT, and Paul was there in the 80s and stuff, and it was an odd experience for me because Chris became a good friend of mine, and he eventually moved off Royal Palm in Coral Springs. But he had a unique way to bend, like that. He also used chorus on his sound. Listen to Power of the Night album. Please, if you're a guitar player and you love guitar, I don't care if it's blues, whatever it is, listen to Power of Night. And if you want to hear more raw on how he improved, listen to Sirens. Sirens is a great album with some great songs too. But Chris's playing it excelled after I met him, and he was working on Power of the Night at the time. And he did a lot of cool stuff. Oh, low battery mode. So he had a huge influence on my picking hand. He had one of the best right hands. And it was devastating to me and devastating to the metal world. And he was such an underrated guitar player. He was the most underrated guitar player probably in the world. And at the time, it was an untimely death. He was hit by a drunk driver. I think he was heading back to Tampa, and he was in a Popka or something like that. I don't remember the exact circumstances. I was 16. You're talking over 40 years ago. But thanks to Derek, I met him, and it helped influence my playing. Not only that, you listen to Zakk Wylde, and that's Criss. The pinch harmonic and the chorus out chords. He was in the early 80s playing in drop C. Drop C in the early 80s. Incredible guitar player, gifted, and he had that blues solo. Stuff like that. So it was and what happened is somebody had mentioned his name in one of my comments, and I took the other video down. I wanted to do video and talk about him. I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot because it is a sore subject for me personally. But one of the most tragic mishaps of music, I think, ever. There's a couple of them. Hendrix was one, Randy Rhoads was another, and Criss was the other one. Other than that, those three, Criss was that big of an influence on the metal community, and it changed a lot. If you listen to some of Dimebag's metal riffs like that I feel that's where he got it from. And Criss told me some of his biggest influence, Eddie Van Halen was one, but he also listened to a lot of Michael Schenker and UFO and stuff like that too. And a lot of people don't understand, his family was very talented. Like, they played bass and drums on a lot of the albums and stuff. John was a great singer, keyboard player, a drummer, bass player, highly talented musician. And he was one of the guys that I first heard, you know, the high falsetto screams and stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. Before like the Skid Rows and everything, just listen to Power Night and some of the Sirens and stuff like it. It's incredible stuff. Probably Fate's Merciful Fate was one of the first ones too, with King Diamond. He can't sing no more. So I just wanted to show you what, I don't even know, I think that riff is right, or it's close to it. I haven't played that in 40 years, but and he doesn't play it the way I'm playing it. That's the way I had to learn how to play it when I was a kid, because he played it a little more over the neck. I know that he was I don't exactly know how he was playing it. I saw him play it, but he was playing it like, what was he doing? Something like that. Well. He played it up there somewhere. It was too hard the way he did it. I couldn't remember it, so I just... I forget how he was doing it, but I remember him working on that. So, and to get back into some of the other theory, let's take a look at Poison real quick. Now, I hear sometimes when you play Nothing But a Good Time, some people go, I hear that sometimes. You have to remember the key is in A major. Anyway, enough with the messing around. But we're G, D. Fifth of a G is a D. Dominant second or a one, either way you look at it. Thanks. Now, if you look at how he solos over there, here's the thing about this. If there's no third and your bass player is just playing, there's no third. He's playing root notes or a fifth. So if you maintain that, you can go back A major, has B minor in it. What else has B minor? And if you play the box scales of A majors, so like if you go, or that sounds more like Poison. But then you look at the way CC solos, and you'll always see an F sharp minor in there. Now, some people will call it modal playing, but he's going in and out of keys and he's borrowing from different positions. Because if you look at this lick, that's in there, but this note ain't in there. And what is that? That's a C. A major, there's no C. 1, 2, 3. Now he's flattened out. That becomes A minor. The C is in A minor, not A major. So there's a lot of little tricks that CC DeVille is doing. Now he likes to jump from A, F sharp, to B minor, D minor, and E minor. So it's just something he does, and it's playing those outside notes and stuff. And if you play them fast enough, as long as you start in key. So if you look at the G major, this D major, but you borrow from the E minor position. You start borrowing other notes because you're not in a major or minor key. That is another trick to pattern and position. And why do I talk about pattern and position so much? And I'm going to make this make sense to you now, if you were confused before. If you look at the degrees, no one goes G, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 5, flat 7. They reference it because it's a reference in all keys. So why wouldn't you reference it in any key while you're playing in key? If it's flat 5, why not just call it the 5th or the 3rd? Why do we have to have names for it? It's an interesting concept. So when I start looking at all these strings, it's position. Second position. So now you start looking at positions. Now you think of it in a little more advanced way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. What did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then back to 8, being the octave. So almost Fooled myself. So I start looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. So you got a minor and a major tied into that position. So if I use the minor scale and take notes from this major scale, four, 5, 6, 7. So if you look at 4, 5, right here, what C.C. DeVille do a lot? He plays a D minor. He's playing positions. A 1, 4, 5. Back to the A, resolve. He's a very smart guitar player. Again, a lot of bands do it, and you know, you can borrow notes and put them in licks, like I was talking about the Yngwie. That's how you come up with those shreddy licks. It's an interesting concept to play pattern and position like this, and it's unique, but it does make a lot of sense. Again, look at TNT. And how did he end it? E. Resolve on a B. They're very smart guitar players. Don't let these people fool you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope more of this ties in and tie in. I did listen to, someone asked me about the Van Halen song with Mitch Malloy. I do know Mitch. I've asked him to do some projects, and he's declined, saying he's too busy. He's a great singer, but he can be standoffish as well. And he just moved to Florida. That's why I asked him. But I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope everything is making sense. Again, I've been sick. My kid is sick, so I don't know when I'll do a video next. But I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for making the channel grow. What else can I say? But thank you. I have bought some new PA gear, so if you guys are interested in sound gear, I'm supposed to practice with the Poison Tribute Saturday. So if you want to see how I set up the PA gear and what I have for PA, I use 2 QSC 12-inch subs. I just bought a JBLX PRX 18-inch sub to go in the middle. So it's an interesting concept. If you ever see the small DJ setups where they just have the tops and a sub in the middle, I took that idea, and then I already had the PA for the band, how you do it on the sides. I had the kick subs with the Turbo Sound IQ 15s. But then I thought, what if I put an 18 in the middle to balance the sound out? Why do we have just speakers at the end? And I do turn my tops in a hair so I can cross in the 180 degrees a little more. So if you guys are interested in sound gear and sound, because I have done sound for bands, like Completely Unchained and some other bands. My buddy Danny Machado, he does sound. He doesn't do it no more, but he used to do sound for Bon Jovi and Aerosmith and stuff like that. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff as well, let me know in the comments, because I can show you. The sound quality of the sound isn't going to be there, but I can show you how I set up a PA thing. So if you're interested in bands and that's what you're getting ready to inspire and what you need, and you want to start rehearsing with a band, there's different ways to go through applications, and you can do it on a budget. You can get a PA system like ProRec. I think it's like the 2000 or 4000. It's got a sub in the middle with the 2 array tops on the side. Or you can get the one that's a passive and an active. You can get like a full PA, the 2 subs on the side and the 2 tops, where the 1 sub powers it all. Those are like $700 right now. So if you're interested in stuff like that, please let me know. I am working on the Mitch Malloy Van Halen song. It's a little complicated. It's not as easy as some of his old stuff. But peace out, thank you, and let me know before I record on the weekend and do the band thing. Peace.